Chosen one, your family just declared war on your peace, and they don't even realize they've already lost. They've even brought in outside help, recruiting someone from your past to manipulate you back into old patterns. But this hitman doesn't. Realize they're walking into the final showdown, where your family's desperation meets your unshakable new boundaries. You've been feeling it for weeks now. That strange energy shift where people who ignored you for months suddenly can't stop reaching out. Your phone starts buzzing with family members who haven't checked on you since your last crisis, now acting like they're deeply concerned about your well-being. The same relatives who criticized every choice you made are now sliding into your DMs with heart emojis and miss you messages. This isn't them suddenly developing emotional intelligence. This is panic in motion, and you're witnessing the most desperate phase of a war they declared on your growth the moment you stopped playing by their rules. Your family just realized they've been fighting someone who leveled up to a completely different game while they were still throwing rocks. The forces that have been protecting your journey are about to expose everything. Every lie they told about you. Every secret they kept from you. Every manipulation they ran behind your scenes. Life is preparing to flip the script so dramatically that your family's own weapons will become the evidence of their destruction. Your family operates like a criminal organization with clear hierarchies and assigned roles, and you just broke the chain of command by refusing to play your part. There's always one main orchestrator pulling the strings, usually the family member everyone's secretly afraid of disappointing. This person has been the puppet master of family dynamics for decades, deciding who gets love, who gets resources, who gets blamed for everything. You were assigned a specific role in their twisted theater production. Maybe you were the family scapegoat, always responsible for everyone else's problems. Maybe you were the designated fixer, expected to solve every crisis and absorb every emotional breakdown. Perhaps you were the family entertainment, there to provide drama and distraction whenever things got too real for the adults to handle. Here's what just shifted the entire game. You stopped accepting the role. You stopped showing up to rehearsals. You stopped memorizing lines written by people who never had your best interests at heart. You started writing your own script, and your family realized they can't predict your next move anymore. Your evolution has created a domino effect of panic throughout your entire bloodline. The family members who relied on your dysfunction to avoid facing their own issues are suddenly forced to look in the mirror. The relatives who used your problems as entertainment are left with nothing to gossip about because your life is actually working now. The family member who always knew exactly which buttons to push is discovering that you disconnected the entire control panel. The relative who used to guilt you into compliance by threatening to withdraw their love just realized you've built a support system that makes their approval irrelevant. Your family just made their most desperate move yet. They've recruited someone from your past to do their dirty work, and this mercenary doesn't even realize they're being used as a weapon of mass destruction against your peace. This isn't some random person sliding into your life. This is a strategically chosen individual who was specifically selected for their access to your emotional triggers and intimate knowledge of your vulnerabilities. The hitman might be your ex who disappeared for months and suddenly wants to catch up. Could be that former friend who ghosted you after taking sides in family drama, now acting like nothing happened. Maybe it's someone you used to trust who's been fed a carefully crafted sob story about how you've changed and need to be saved from your new mindset. Your family didn't choose this person randomly. They selected someone who has historical significance in your emotional landscape, someone who once mattered to you, someone who knows your soft spots, your past insecurities, your previous patterns of behavior. They're banking on the fact that this person can slip past your current defenses using old access codes that you forgot to change. The hitman has been given a fictional narrative about who you are now and why you need intervention. They've been told you're being influenced by the wrong people, making terrible decisions, abandoning your family values. They genuinely believe they're on a rescue mission, completely unaware that they're actually participating in an assassination attempt on your personal growth. The very fact that they need to hire outside help proves that you've successfully blocked their direct access to your energy. They can't reach you anymore through traditional family manipulation channels, so they're desperately outsourcing the job to someone who still has login credentials to your heart. Life set this entire scenario up as a test of your judgment. Can you recognize manipulation even when it comes wrapped in familiar packaging? Can you maintain your boundaries even when someone you once cared about is delivering the message? Can you see through emotional camouflage when your family sends their most convincing messenger? Suddenly, everyone needs you urgently. Every family situation has become a crisis that only you can solve. Health scares that mysteriously appear right when you're doing well. Financial emergencies that require your immediate attention and emotional investment. Relationship drama that somehow always needs your intervention and advice. Watch how these emergencies have artificial urgency attached to them. Everything needs to happen right now. Decisions can't wait until tomorrow. Your presence is required immediately, and any delay means you don't really care about family. They're using time pressure as a weapon to bypass your logical thinking and trigger your emotional responses. Your family is testing whether you'll abandon your boundaries when they create enough chaos. They're checking to see if your new backbone can withstand pressure campaigns designed to guilt you back into your old role. They want to know if they can still override your decision-making by creating enough emotional noise to drown out your inner voice. Reality is using these false emergencies to strengthen your judgment. Each manufactured crisis that you don't fall for builds your immunity to manipulation. Every fake emergency that you see through clearly increases your ability to distinguish between genuine needs and psychological warfare. After years of criticism, conditional approval, and emotional scraps, your family has suddenly discovered that you're their favorite person on earth. The same relatives who barely acknowledged your existence are now calling you the family treasure. The family members who used to critique everything about you are suddenly showering you with praise and affection. This calculated kindness feels intoxicating because you've been starving for this recognition your entire life. The family member who never validated your achievements is suddenly bragging about you to strangers. The relative who used to minimize your success is now posting about how proud they are of you on social media. They're offering things they withheld for decades. The parent who never said "I love you" is suddenly texting heart emojis daily. The sibling who competed with you for attention is now acting like your biggest supporter. The family member who criticized your appearance is suddenly calling you beautiful and sharing old photos of you with captions about how special you've always been. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you walk through this awakening alone. Never gonna scroll past your suffering like it's just content. This isn't just a rickroll. It's a lifeline in disguise. I built the Obsidian Inner Order because too many of us have been exiled for seeing the truth, cast out by family, gaslit by cults, haunted by gifts we didn't ask for. So now we gather. Every week, live on Zoom, real people, real faces. A former CFO turned psychic, a seer who escaped Mormonism, a healer who broke free of ritual abuse. And yes, the calls are recorded, So when you're on the floor, you can come back to the field. We're not a meme. We're a miracle. And we're never gonna give you up. Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in the description. Your nervous system recognizes that something is wrong with this sudden abundance of affection. Love shouldn't feel this desperate. Appreciation shouldn't come with invisible strings attached. Genuine family affection doesn't need to buy its way back into your life after years of emotional bankruptcy. This love-bombing campaign has strategic timing that proves its artificial nature. The affection arrives right when you're building independence from family dysfunction. The praise starts flowing the moment you stop seeking their approval. The emotional generosity appears precisely when you found other sources of validation and support. They're trying to create a trauma bond by alternating between overwhelming love and complete withdrawal. They shower you with attention until you start to relax and trust again. Then they pull back to see if you'll chase the feeling. They're testing whether you've become addicted to their approval or if you've built immunity to their emotional manipulation. The family member who used to weaponize their love by giving and taking it based on your behavior is now acting like love was always freely available. The relative who made their affection conditional on your compliance is suddenly acting unconditionally, supportive while secretly keeping score of your responses. Your gut knows that authentic love doesn't operate like a business transaction. Real family affection doesn't disappear for years and then reappear with perfect timing to coincide with your growth. Genuine appreciation doesn't feel like a sales pitch designed to change your mind about maintaining boundaries. Life is testing your ability to distinguish between authentic love and strategic affection. Can you receive genuine care without compromising your boundaries? Can you appreciate kindness without forgetting the patterns that taught you to protect your peace? Your hired enemy is starting to see through the lies they were told about you, and their growing awareness is creating problems your family never anticipated. The person recruited to manipulate you back into dysfunction is witnessing your actual character versus the fictional villain your family described. The hitman was expecting to find someone bitter, broken, and easy to manipulate. Instead, they're encountering someone who's genuinely at peace, building a healthy life, and treating people with kindness. They were told you'd become selfish and cold, but they're seeing someone who's simply learned to protect their energy from people who drain it. Some hitmen develop genuine feelings or respect for you, which absolutely wasn't part of the plan. They start to understand why you set boundaries with your family. They begin to see the manipulation tactics they were taught to use against you. They realize they've been weaponized against someone who doesn't deserve the treatment they were hired to deliver. Others become frustrated and confused because you're not responding to manipulation the way your family predicted. The emotional triggers they were told to activate aren't working. The guilt trips that used to control you are bouncing off like you're protected by invisible armor. The drama they were instructed to create isn't drawing you back into toxic patterns. Your authentic energy is converting people who were sent to work against you. Your consistent peace is confusing people who were told you'd be reactive and emotional. Your genuine kindness is disrupting the narrative that painted you as the family villain who needed to be stopped. The hitman starts asking themselves uncomfortable questions about the people who recruited them. Why did your family need to lie about your character to get help? Why are they so determined to sabotage someone who's obviously doing well? Why does your growth threaten them so much that they're willing to hire outside manipulation? Your family panics when they realize their hand-picked manipulator has switched sides. The person who was supposed to be their inside access to your emotions has become another person they can't control. Their carefully planned psychological operation is backfiring because they underestimated the power of your authentic transformation. The guilt trips have evolved into full-scale emotional terrorism. They're threatening to cut you out of wills, exclude you from family events, and ensure that future generations never know your name. They're painting scenarios where your absence destroys family traditions and traumatizes innocent children who just want their family back together. They're involving neutral parties who don't understand the full history of dysfunction. Church members, family friends, and community leaders are being fed carefully edited versions of family events designed to make you look unreasonable and heartless. They're building a coalition of people who believe you've abandoned your loving family for selfish reasons. The manipulation becomes so obvious and desperate that even neutral observers start noticing something's wrong. Their behavior becomes erratic enough that their reputation in the community begins to suffer. People who know you personally start questioning the stories they're hearing about your supposed transformation into a family-abandoning monster. Your family is creating so much chaos and drama that they're exposing their own dysfunction to everyone watching. Their desperate attempts to paint you as the problem are actually revealing their manipulative patterns to people who never noticed them before. Their campaign to destroy your reputation is backfiring by showcasing their willingness to destroy someone who simply wanted healthy boundaries. Reality is using their peak desperation as the perfect moment to reveal their true nature to everyone who matters. Their mask is slipping because they're too panicked to maintain their usual careful facade. Their manipulation tactics are becoming visible to people who previously saw them as the reasonable, loving family members you inexplicably rejected. While your family creates chaos and drama around you, you're building something they can't touch, sabotage, or contaminate with their dysfunction. Your life is improving in ways they can't reach from their position of emotional distance. New opportunities and relationships are emerging from sources they have no access to or influence over. You've developed emotional immunity to their manipulation tactics through repeated exposure and conscious recognition. Their guilt trips bounce off you like water off a duck's back. Their threats feel empty because you've already survived their worst attempts at emotional destruction. Their love bombing feels transparent because you've learned to recognize calculated affection. Your peace is protected by boundaries. They can't cross because you've finally learned to value your emotional well-being over their approval. You're no longer willing to sacrifice your mental health to make other people comfortable with their dysfunction. You've stopped setting yourself on fire to keep family members warm who refuse to build their own fires. New people are entering your life who appreciate and protect your energy instead of draining it for their own purposes. You're attracting relationships based on mutual respect rather than one-sided obligation. You're building connections with people who celebrate your growth instead of sabotaging it to maintain their comfort zones. Your family's chaos is happening around you, not to you anymore. You're watching their drama like a movie because you're no longer a participant in their dysfunction. Their emotional storms can rage all they want, but you're safely positioned outside their weather system with an umbrella of healthy boundaries. Your transformation has reached a point where their opinions about your choices carry no more weight than strangers' judgments. You've internalized your own worth so thoroughly that external validation feels nice when it comes, but isn't necessary for your sense of self. You've become emotionally self-sufficient in ways that terrify people who've depended on your neediness. Life has positioned you strategically outside their ability to cause real damage to your life trajectory. You've ascended to a level of emotional evolution where their manipulation attempts feel like children throwing tantrums rather than serious threats to your well-being. The decisive moment arrives when your family throws everything they have at you in one final desperate attempt to reclaim control, and you remain completely unmoved by their ultimate manipulation campaign. This is their nuclear option, the combination of every guilt trip, threat, emergency, and emotional weapon they've ever used against you, deployed simultaneously in one overwhelming assault. They coordinate a full-scale psychological attack designed to break down every boundary you've built and drag you back into your old role. The emergency is bigger than ever. The stakes feel life or death. The consequences of your refusal to comply are painted in apocalyptic terms that would have destroyed your resolve in previous versions of yourself. The hitman either completely defects to your side or removes themselves from the situation entirely, refusing to participate in what they now recognize as psychological warfare against someone who doesn't deserve attack. Your family's own weapon has not only turned against them, but become a witness to their manipulation tactics. Your family is forced to confront the reality that their power over you is completely gone. The person they could once control with a single guilt trip now remains unmoved by their combined forces. The individual who used to sacrifice their own well-being to avoid family disapproval is now willing to let them disapprove forever rather than compromise their peace. Some family members may genuinely apologize and commit to changing their behavior when they realize their manipulation tactics will never work again. Others will increase their distance, unwilling to maintain relationships that require them to treat you with respect and acknowledge your autonomy. You realize you've won this war without firing a single shot. Victory came through refusing to participate in their game rather than trying to defeat them at it. You didn't need to outsmart their manipulation. You simply became immune to it. You didn't need to expose their tactics. You just stopped being affected by them. Your life moves forward while your family remains trapped in old patterns and drama that no longer include you as a participant. You've broken free from generational cycles of dysfunction and created a new standard for how you'll accept being treated. The people who were genuine find ways to respect your boundaries. Those who can't accept the new dynamic naturally fade from your life. You've graduated to a level of existence your family can't even comprehend. Your problems are different now. They're the kind of challenges that come with growth, opportunity, and abundance, rather than the constant crisis management that defined your family relationships. You're dealing with decisions about which opportunities to pursue rather than which family emergency to solve. Your story becomes an inspiration for others breaking free from toxic family systems. People seek your advice about setting boundaries and maintaining peace in the face of family pressure. You become living proof that it's possible to love your family while refusing to accept their dysfunction as your normal. You realize this entire showdown was actually your initiation into your true power. The family war wasn't something that happened to you. It was something that happened for you, designed to reveal your strength and teach you to protect your energy from people who would misuse it. Life used your family's manipulation tactics as training wheels for developing judgment in all your relationships. You can now spot emotional manipulation from miles away. You recognize boundary-testing behavior before it escalates. You trust your instincts about people's motivations because your family provided extensive practice in reading between the lines. Your transformation has created ripple effects that extend far beyond your immediate family situation. The cycles you've broken won't be passed down to future generations. The patterns you've interrupted won't continue through your lineage. The dysfunction that defined your family for decades stops with you. You've become the ancestor future generations will thank for changing the trajectory of your bloodline. Your courage to face family disapproval in order to build a healthy life becomes the foundation that allows others to dream bigger and live freer than anyone in your family line has ever experienced. The war is over, and you didn't just survive. You transcended the entire battlefield and created a new reality where their weapons don't exist and their rules don't apply. Your family's greatest attempt to destroy your growth became the catalyst for your complete transformation into someone they can no longer touch, control, or diminish. You are no longer who they raised you to be. You have become who you were meant to be despite their interference. And that transformation is your greatest victory and their definitive defeat.